Would you believe that a social media influencer was the main suspect in a crime? Shocking, right? Well, one cold night in the city, a murder was reported. A TikTok star became the prime suspect in a double murder investigation. What would have made the man commit such a crime? Would it be jealousy? Hate? Let's find out. If you're fascinated by untold mysteries and chilling truths, hit subscribe. We're just getting started. Ali Abulaban, also known as JinnKid on social media, was a 29-year-old man from the city of San Diego, California. He grew to fame on TikTok before his life took a turn for the worse. He was born on January 2, 1992. Having previously worked in the U.S. Air Force, Ali learned discipline. Yet, it was the love for entertainment that determined the better part of his adult years. He has been interested in acting and making people laugh since he was a child, and later found a platform for his creativity through social media. Before making a name for himself on TikTok, he explored other social media platforms, including YouTube, where he fine-tuned his skills and found a group of followers. Many of his comedies were impressions, especially his famed impression of Al Pacino's character Tony Montana from Scarface. Through this, he gained much attention. To add to it, the younger viewers enjoyed and shared his skits and reactions to trending topics, and found them highly relatable. As time passed by, Ali became a well-known social media influencer as his TikTok reached 1.3 million followers. However, his journey to fame took a dark turn, as his quest for fame led him all the way to a double murder. Ali Abulaban first met Anna while he was working in Japan, and their relationship grew over time, going all the way to their marriage in 2017. At the beginning of their marriage, they seemed like a happy couple. They shared photos of them celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, and other great occasions together on their social media accounts, therefore showcasing them as a happy family. All these moments showed the love and joy they shared as they lived together, until it all started to fall apart when Ali was discharged from the U.S. Air Force. A physical altercation between him and one of Anna's friends was the reason for the discharge, which added tension to the already problematic relationship. Following the discharge, the family moved to Bristow, Virginia, where they were looking forward to a new start as they were expecting a child, but it also marked the beginning of problems in their marriage. Cracks began to form in the once perfect relationship due to personal issues and external pressure, which led to the breakdown of their family. Anna Abulaban, born Ana Matos, was 29 years old at the time of her death. She spent much of her childhood where she was born in Puerto Rico before moving to the U.S. Her friends and family described Anna as a warm, loving, and compassionate woman with a deep sense of dedication to her career and her family. She was a mother to a young daughter and had been married to Ali Abulaban for several years. Anna worked as a teacher in the San Diego Unified School District, and her colleagues knew her as a kind and caring educator who had a genuine passion for teaching. Her students loved her, and she was well respected by the community. Anna's friends and family remember her as someone who would go above and beyond for others, always willing to help and support those in her life. According to family and friends close to Ali and Anna, his behavior began to take a troubling turn as their relationship progressed. Ali was described as increasingly unpredictable, with emotional shifts that left those around him feeling uneasy by those who knew him very well. The foundation of the marriage started to wear down as he became more jealous and possessive, showing signs of obsessive behavior. His tendency to gain control over her grew more seemingly, and he reportedly struggled with Anna's right to independence. Ali's controlling behaviors increased Anna's dissatisfaction, which was noted by her trying to solidify a sense of freedom and power. As the marriage began crumbling, allegedly she began to find a way to distance herself from what was turning out to be a toxic relationship. She found it difficult to get out due to Ali's new behavior patterns. Their homestead situation changed to become marked with tension, unfaithfulness, and vulnerability. It was clear that the level of emotional and psychological strain on both of them was high, from the friends and family circles who noted the striking change in Ali. It was also noted that Anna was subject to physical harassment and violence from her husband, as footage along with the statements of their friends was proof of the incidents and the pain Anna went through. The Abulabans moved to San Diego, but Anna started to isolate herself, and Ali's addiction to cocaine increased as his online presence and desire for fame grew. In 2021, the Abulabans' relationship became even more messed up as Anna reportedly began an affair with Rayburn Pina, a man she met through work. His increasing sense of paranoia, filled with jealousy, led him to begin spying on Anna, as this affair proved to be the breaking point for Ali. Rayburn Pina, also known as Ray, was 29 years old at the time of his death. He was born and grew up in California and worked in the construction industry. Just like Anna, Ray was also described as a kind-hearted individual, someone who was well-liked by friends and coworkers. Unlike Ali, who became famous as a public figure with millions of followers, Ray became known after the tragedy due to him being involved in the events that led to his murder. Ali's growing obsession with his wife's relationship led him to install a spyware app without her knowledge on her phone. This app allowed him to listen in on her private conversations, monitor her messages, and track her movements. Ali was convinced that his wife was cheating on him despite having access to all this information. On the night of October 18, 2021, Ali's worst fears seemed to come true. He learned that Anna and Rayburn were together in their San Diego apartment. Ali decided to face them in a fit of rage and jealousy. He drove to the apartment and killed both Anna and Rayburn in cold blood. According to authorities, Ali entered the apartment and shot both victims. He then went back to his own apartment and acted as if nothing had happened, even going so far as to continue playing video games. And throughout the entire time, he had his young daughter with him, unaware that her mother had just been murdered. Ali's motive for doing the crime was driven by his feelings of betrayal, obsession, and anger. Thus, the crime was considered personal and brutal. After the crime, Ali first decided to call 911 and told them that he had found both his wife and another man dead on the couch, then screamed repeatedly to help his wife, and told them that he had found his wife dead with blood on her head. Ali also called his mother and father, telling him what he had done, but his father had advised him to turn himself in. Ali was caught only after further investigation by the detectives and the discovery of his phone records. News about the deaths of Anna and Rayburn spread rapidly, and shock ripples through the community, then beyond. Many in the community felt shocked that a man involved in such a deadly act of violence was the very same man who built an image as being a light-hearted, funny social media influencer. The same Ali Abulaban, who tweets under the name JinnKid, having gained millions of followers on TikTok with his funny videos, perhaps most often full of impressions, skits, and reactions to popular subjects, was the one carrying out this murder. To the fans, Ali appeared to be a humorous and vibrant individual, an admirer of the light that brought out laughter and held the attention of many others. His funny content, particularly very accurate impressions that he used to entertain his fans quite well. It was not possible to digest that it was the same man who had committed all those murders. However, Ali was thrust into the media limelight for all the wrong reasons when the revelation that Ali was the man behind the gruesome murders of his wife and her friend shattered this public image. In some ways, the details of the crime were more shocking than the fact that there was one. The great disparity between the lighthearted identity he had constructed for himself on the internet and the violence to which he resorted in his private life shocked many people into realizing how much intelligence it requires to be cruel and how little to be funny. The media immediately jumped to the background of Ali in an attempt to find explanations for the very sudden change. Friends, family, and fans alike found it hard to reconcile the man they felt they knew with the man now standing murder trial. The revelations were hard-hitting, especially to his fans, who were attracted by the comedies he was so adept at crafting in his videos. For many, it is a devastating reminder of how complex and hidden the struggles of others can be, even for those who seem to lead their lives right out there for all to see. Anna's family was devastated by her loss. Her mother, who had been very close to Anna, publicly mourned the loss of her daughter and described her as an outgoing and caring woman who loved her family deeply. Anna's friends also came forward to express their grief, remembering her as someone who was full of life and loved her daughter more than anything. Ray's family, too, was devastated by the loss of their son, who had been a hard-working, good-natured young man with a bright future. After the murders, Ali Abulaban was arrested the following day and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. He was held in San Diego County Jail without bail. Ali was arrested the next day and his case quickly attracted widespread media attention due to his status as a social media influencer. On October 19, 2021, Ali was taken into custody by San Diego police and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. He was later denied bail. Further investigation revealed chilling facts that Ali had been spying on Ana for months before murdering her wife and her lover. Investigators found evidence that he had used his access to her phone to monitor her interactions and communications, and had become increasingly paranoid about her infidelity. During police interviews, he confessed to the murders, claiming that his jealousy over Ana's affair had driven him to act out in a violent rage. "When I opened the door and saw who it was, it broke my heart. And to see her kissing Ray on my couch, with his feet on my table. My wife, my money, my apartment, my life, the house that my daughter sleeps in, on the furniture that I put together. What do you expect a man to feel? Happy." These were the words said by Ali Abulaban to an interviewer when asked about why he had committed the crime. In the wake of his arrest, Ali's social media accounts, including his TikTok, were deleted. His followers were left in shock as they learned the truth behind the public persona they had followed for so long. During the legal proceedings, Ali's defense team argued that he had been suffering from a mental breakdown at the time of the murders. They claimed that his obsessive jealousy and controlling nature were exacerbated by mental health issues. His lawyer suggested that he was not fully aware of his actions when he killed Ana and Rayburn. However, the prosecution presented a different narrative. They painted Ali as a man who was consumed by jealousy and control, and they argued that the crime was premeditated. The prosecution noted that Ali had planned the killings and had stalked his wife for weeks before carrying out the murders. The case was taken to the California court, where San Diego Superior Court Judge Jeffrey Fraser took the final decision. "He's a very selfish person, as I think the jury saw," he said. "The bottom line here is, he will die in prison. He will never be a free man. He will take his last breath there." This is what the judge had to say for himself. Pleading for himself in court, Ali Abulaban stated that his suffering from an untreated severe mental illness and a crippling addiction to cocaine was what sparked a drug-induced psychosis that made him carry out the double homicide in a fit of jealous rage. "I believe everyone should have the ability to parole because everyone can change," said Ali Abulaban. His actions did not plead for the same, as he was seen raging in the courtroom against the prosecution, as they provided much evidence to prove him guilty. The families of Ray and Ana had pleaded with the judge to keep the killer behind bars for the rest of his life. Ana's sister had an emotional outburst against Ali filled with rage and sadness as she asked, "What did my mom do to you? What did Ana do to you?" And proceeded by saying, "My mom treated you well, and that Ana wouldn't have cheated if he didn't cheat first." She described her sister as a gentle, loving, sweet young woman whose absence has left a hole in my heart that can never be filled. Ray's sister Jordana was also seen emotional as she talked about her brother saying, "I lost my baby brother and my best friend. The way he had to leave this earth is not something he deserved. He was a kind and loving person. He deserved a chance in his life." Ali Abulaban's reply to both families for the senseless, jealousy-filled murder he had done was, "I cannot imagine the pain I've caused your families. I saw the look on all your faces and the tears in your eyes, and I hate that I'm the reason for it. On that day, I was in the worst physical and mental state of my life. I was sick, suffering from an untreated severe mental illness." The judge watching all of Ali's theatrics denied the defense's stance of Ali killing them in the heat of the moment by stating how he had used his daughter's iPad to track the movements and calls of his wife and duplicated keys to enter the apartment without permission, and mainly how he began the audio recording before just executing what Judge Fraser called a willful, deliberate, premeditated, cold-blooded murder. He also said that any of the tears shed by Ali Abulaban throughout have been for himself. He also reflected on a TikTok video of Ali saying, "He's a very talented actor. When I saw his Scarface video, it's as if when he committed this crime he became the persona of Scarface, just the cold-blooded killing without remorse. The bottom line is that he will die in prison. He will never be a free man. He will take his last breath in prison," as Judge Fraser delivered the final verdict, declaring that Ali Abulaban would die in prison and never be a free man. A wave of relief and justice swept through the courtroom and the crowd responded with applause. The gravity of the judgment, marking the end of Ali's freedom and the beginning of his life behind bars, was met with a sense of closure, though the pain of the victims' families could never be undone. Ali, however, showed no visible signs of remorse or acceptance. His unhappiness was evident, though it was a small and insignificant reaction to the enormity of the crime he had committed. The finality of the sentence echoed the reality of the lives shattered by his actions, and the justice served that day offered little comfort to those left to mourn the lives lost. As Ali's fate was sealed, the community was left to reflect on the dark side of fame and the irreversible consequences of one man's violent choices. If this story's got you on the edge of your seat, hit the comments with your thoughts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. This is only one dark chapter in a book full of spine chillers. There's way more lurking in the shadows. This case is closed, but there are more stories waiting. Subscribe to uncover them. What happened to Molly Young, the friendly, pretty girl everyone adored? Hit play to find out.